what we usually do, we try to put it graphically, and then you can see that a percentage willingness to pay 100% is almost 75 taka. If you replicate to this one, that when all of them would be willing to pay, that would be the figure of average 75 taka would be there. Why you want to pay? We have asked them. What are the reasons that you are willing to pay? People say that, most of them said that, for protection of human health. Second was protecting environment. So health and environment is coming. And then protecting future generation, soil fertility is coming over there as a reason for willing to pay. We had few respondents who were not willing to pay, and among them other reasons were there, and lack of financial ability was there, which makes sense. Okay, people don't have the ability to pay or the income level to pay, to contribute in this fund. So, if I discuss the limitations of this particular study, it was a small sample size. We would replicate this study in future with a very large sample size, which would be more representative. And we have used one vehicle label there. We can use other vehicle as imposing taxes. How do you feel about tax imposition on you in order to maintain the environment? We can test this on future. We need to quantify electronic waste with clear-cut methodology. Okay, it's not like that. We do some surveys based on that one. No, we need to have some clearly defined methodology in order to estimate electronic waste over there. In this respect, all the stakeholders can come together so that we can arrive at some figures which are agreeable and with clear defined methodologies. We also need to map the informal sector who are doing this, how many people are involved there, over there, and the hazard they are facing over there in working over these sectors. And also we need to design specific regulations for e-waste management policy over there. So these were the summary of the survey that we made. Some of the policy implications or summary you can find from this particular survey is that we should be seriously thinking about managing electronic waste in a hazard-free way. And obviously, setting up and running up this cost and recycling in a hazard-free way would be costly. And willingness to pay survey that we did on the respondents at least give us some hint that even these people are willing to pay in order to make sure that electronic waste are managed properly in a hazard-free way. So some policy recommendations that we want to put forward. Of course, these are not final. We are here. We can discuss. We can add back any other comments and discussions over there regarding the policy. First of all, it's not a job entirely that could be done by the government or the users or the producers. All of us should come together in order to derive at a solution for managing electronic waste in a hazard-free way. Sellers, producers, users, recycling agency, policy makers, all of us should be coming together forward in order to have a solution for this particular problem. In general, we can, for all the stakeholders, we can start with awareness program. Okay, we can build campaign. We can educate people about the harmful effects of toxic waste. Don't throw your batteries with solid waste. Keep it in a basket. Okay, we can educate the children. We can put them into our textbooks about the harmful effects of electronic waste. And all of the stakeholders have their role to play in increasing this awareness. Second, we got to learn, we got to adapt separating the garbages. We can assign a particular day for throwing electronic waste. On that particular day, only electronic items will be discarded, so that whoever is collecting it, they can dump it to the designated recycling point and collection point. Maybe Tuesday or Wednesday would be only electronic goods discarding. We got to develop the infrastructure. We got to develop collection points for this. segregation. We got to build up refurbishing recycling centers, treatment plants, and both urban and rural areas. And in establishing this plant, we should be very careful. We got to learn from other European and developed nations, because when we establish this recycling plant, I have seen them, they discard dioxin. You are burning plastic in a recycling plant. You are burning some electronic equipment within the recycling plant. They are discharging dioxin. So that again, these recycling plants are polluting the environment. So we shouldn't do like that. We should learn from them, and we should try to establish our harvesting plants in a way that doesn't again pollute the environment. So we got to adapt the newest technology, which is this problem free and again doesn't pollute our environment. We got to be very careful about establishing and adapting these technologies. Also, establishing the recycling plant is always better to have participation from other stakeholders in the recycling process, public-private partnership, or in a non-profit basis. We can do it, and we can also have some sharing from both producers and consumers, so that they both can take initiative in order to be environment friendly. For producers and importers, they have greater role to play over there. We got to extend our responsibility on behalf of producers and importers, so that we can ensure that ensure hazard-free disposal of electronic waste. We got to ensure that one. And you have seen in the slide that we've been discussing, showing other countries' example. They have established this, producer responsibility organization. They have extended to that one, and producers are ultimately handing over those collected electronic waste to the recycling agencies. That helps in many ways, because when you let the producers to do that, producers are encouraged to redesign products which have more recyclability power, number one. Second, it encourages producers to reduce use of toxic materials by developing alternative materials, because users don't have this research and development power to develop new technology and to reduce toxic material. Producers got. Okay, they have that can spend money in terms of research and development over there. Also, it encourages producers to produce products which have a longer span of life. It's not like you use it for one time or 1 year or 2 years and then you throw it out. It will encourage them to produce which have longer longevity. Finally, it encourages the research and development of environment-friendly technology. So that's why producers and importers have great role to play here, who would be ultimately handing over this electronic waste to the recycling agencies, and they can develop new technologies, they can invest money so that they become more environment efficient and friendly. We got to register these producers. We got to create some associations where producers will be registered over there, and establish producer responsibility organization, so that each and every producer should be registered. And finally, they will be registered with these recycling agencies, where their commodities or product will be recycled over there with their stickers over there. Finally, government got, of course, policymakers and government got a bigger role to play. First thing that we came to know that already the draft rules and regulations are under consideration for electronic waste management. So these legislations and rules and regulations are very much needed for proper management of hazard-free e-waste. In designing all these rules and regulations, we got to keep in mind that finally it should be based on the principle that polluter should pay. Whoever is polluting should be at the ultimate cost of this recycling. So that's why we got to keep in mind. Also the results of this study can give some benchmark to the policymakers, in a way that we have seen that on an average households are willing to pay 1,000 taka for hazard-free waste management. So this can work as a benchmark to the government, so that they can collect this amount of money from the producers or manufacturers or sellers, government can collect this money and increase the prices of the commodity of electronic products. And later on, by taking this amount of money out from the producers, government can invest into the recycling plants, or it can provide them for recycling of the electronic waste over there. For example, Sri Lanka is levying environmental conservation tax of 2% per mobile phone per bill of consumers. They are creating this fund, and with the objective of using this particular amount of fund for environment friendly projects, and they have named it as environmental conservation fund over there. We can create that one. Finally, there can be some incentives for producers, manufacturers, importers, for all the people. This if they are recycling and discarding the electronic waste in a proper way, government can allow some tax exemption benefits and incentive over there to the companies who are becoming environment friendly. And also for the producers, they can use this as their social responsibility. And soon in Bangladesh, you will see we will have